The Ash, Lutzi and Nikki Osborne podcast.
State of Origin game day, the countdown to kick off.
What are we, Mitch? About 7 hours from kick-off.
Just on 7 hours.
Wow.
Suncorp tonight, sold out State of Origin. I think, Ash, you just had a hand in giving away the final tickets.
Thanks to Maddie, who found a couple of doubles late, so they're the absolute last in town. So
that's it.
Preparations now, it's pretty much just wrapping up whatever work you got in the next couple of hours and preparing yourself wherever you're watching State of Origin 1 tonight, whether it's at the ground, at the pub, at home.
By the way, if you are going to the ground tonight, keep an eye out for one Mitchell James Lewis, who's making his Origin debut along with Robert Toyer.
Yep.
Toyer's going to be in the Queensland backline. Mitch is going to be behind the microphone.
But on field, he'll be everywhere.
Yeah. So you're going to be stepping up tonight too, Mitch.
Yeah, arguably, I'm spending just as much time on the hallowed turf of Suncorp Stadium as Robert Toyer. So maybe that I'll get him in the sheds after, and we can compare our debut performances.
You do that.
Yeah.
Do that. Tomorrow morning on the breakfast show, we'll have all the interviews from the sheds and a full recap of the game, but a huge preview coming up.
Who we got?
In the next 60 minutes, we're going to talk to Paddy Carrigan.
Yes.
We're going to talk to the great man, Alfie Langer. He's running the water for the Queensland team tonight. It's great to have him back. And next, we're talking to one of the finest ever. Pull on the Mighty Maroons jumper, Darren Lockyer.
Let's
is
go.
next.
The Ash, Lutzi and Nikki Osborne podcast.
Countdown to kick-off here on Nova 106.9. Game 1, State of Origin at Suncorp Stadium tonight.
Pat Carrigan coming up a little later in the show today, and also Alfie Langer, who's running the water tonight. We're speaking to him as well. But this morning we had a good chat to Darren Lockyer.
The great Darren Lockyer.
Yeah. Oh, we love
Morning,
this stuff.
gents.
Good morning, mate. How are you? How you feeling?
Yeah. Oh, the sun's out. A bit cooler today and a bit of breeze around, so I'm not sure if that'll play any part, the breeze tonight.
I'll tell you what was weird. Yeah, yesterday, I don't think you're at the captain's run, Darren. I didn't see you there, but I don't know why I'm calling you Darren. That's weird. But it got balmy. Like, it got hot yesterday afternoon, like a real sort of like humid kind of balmy Brisbane afternoon. And then by the time we got up to the Lord Alfred, it was blowing a gale. And
There's
then
a bit of wind around this morning.
And this
actually.
morning it was
I came
cool
from the coast, and there was like it was a bit of breeze.
Yeah, and it's cold. I believe it's going to be quite cold tonight. I don't know what impact that'll have on the team. It's going to be a chilly night at Suncorp.
Well, brings in potentially some dew at some point, which makes it a little bit trickier. But yeah, I think this time of year it's always the perfect play to place in Brisbane and Suncorp. Game 1, Game 3 last year. Obviously, was the Blues were too good, but we got a couple of pretty handy players coming back, Cam Munster and Tino.
Big Tino.
Yeah, so that's they're big inclusions. Bit of X factor, but also a bit of size in the middle.
Hey, Lockie, I want to talk about tactics and the way that we can win tonight. But just before we do, on the other end of those spectrum, like those experienced players that are coming back, we've got a debutant, Robert Toyer, who's only 20 years of age and has only played 10 NRL matches. So, I mean, it's a rare slice of history to have played so few matches and to walk onto the biggest stage in rugby league. What about your debut? You debuted for Queensland back in 98. What can you remember about your first time in a maroon jumper?
Well, it was a little bit different from the perspective of the Broncos were so dominant around that era, 97, 98. We went back to back, and when we went into camp, Wayne was the coach, and we had 11 Broncos in that team. So Whereas, for Pat, I think he's the only Bronco in the Queensland team. Jesse Arthurs is there, but he won't take the position. So it was 98 for me was obviously a very special moment to get that jersey, my first jersey in the Origin Arena, and it was a special game because we actually won in the dying seconds when Tony Carroll scored late, and it was pretty nerve-wracking for me. I was only sort of 5 metres to the right of the post, so it's an easy kick, but these are the days of kicking off sand, and it wasn't like the scores were tied. We were 1 point behind, so I had to get it. If I missed it, if I missed that, it would have been a debut to forget.
Yeah, wow. Well, and that's pressure. That's genuine pressure too, because it's also it was just one of those kicks that is like of course you're going to kick it. It's just to the side of the uprights, but
Yeah.
if you miss it, that's
Yeah.
just oh my god.
Yeah. Oh my God! All right. Yeah.
Origin folklore.
But just on Robert Toyer, like he's an impressive kid. He went through the Nudgy system. I interviewed him after the Roosters beat the Broncos at Suncorp about a month ago. I think it was. Now they were dominant, the Roosters, but like he just couldn't believe. Like he was talking to me, it was just when I was talking to Billy yesterday, I was at the captain's run, but I came late. But just talking to Billy yesterday, and he just said he's like a sponge. You just can't,
right.
It's a surreal moment for him. But I know he's a really humble kid. He comes from a big family, and I'd be very proud. But he's got a big job ahead of him. He's got to mark Latrell Mitchell tonight. I think we're all very confident he can do the job.
It was interesting yesterday. Billy was on stage at the Fogs lunch, Billy Slater, and talking about how Tom Dearden. I think Pete Pasoltis asked him how Tom Dearden will be used, and he said, to be blatantly honest, he had no real idea how they will use him. Obviously, it relies on if there's an early HIA or something like that, then Dearden can fit into those different roles. But the best case scenario is if there's no injuries or anything, how do you use that number 14, that critical number 14 jersey in Origin?
Well, sort of Mel started a bit of a trend there. He had Sean Berrigan, and he'd come on at 14. He'd sort of put him on at lock, and he'd just become that sort of link player. And Cooper Cronk did it, and then when I retired, Cooper went in the starting team. But the same thing, Cooper and Tom Dearden are very similar, great competitors. They're not the biggest bodies going around, but they're tough. They can handle themselves in the middle of the field defensively, and they've got some great ball skills. So I guess Billy might be playing some mind games there, but I'm pretty sure Tom will get some time on the field. And he can equally, if Harry Grant starts to fatigue a little bit, I think Tom could do a great job at hooker too.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, for sure. He's just tough as all hell, Dearden. So you could pretty much throw him in anywhere. You reckon he won't let us down? How important, mate, given that it's our only home game, and we're getting the wind up here from Mitch, so we've got to be quick. But, after this, we go to Perth. We don't have the best record there. And then it's off to Sydney for game 3 to get off to a winning start. I think we've won the last 3 years, the first match of the series. It's important to get off on that right foot.
Well, look, we go into this series as underdogs, and I think it's just for the confidence of the team and the players. They just need a really good performance tonight, and we always get that at Suncorp. I'm sure the fans will be, there to cheer the team on. So I just think what's important is we come out and play our best footy, and hopefully that's enough tonight, and that gets us off to a winning start and builds some confidence for a lot of these players.
Unreal.
All right, well, let's hope we're up 1-0.
Where are you? Where are you tonight? Where have they got you? You down the field?
Well, sometimes I take this for granted. I'm probably best seated in the house. I'm sidelined with Freddie. And so, sing the national anthem and away we go.
You're singing the anthem. That is big news.
Oh, no.
That'll be the funniest thing ever.
That's the Joe Cocker version.
You'd bring the house. You imagine that, singing the national anthem, Darren Lockyer.
They'd be sprinting from the Caxton to get there on time.
I'm tuning in for that. All right, thanks, Lockyer.
Yeah. Cheers, mate.
See you, boys. Enjoy it. Bye.
The Ash, Lutzi and Nikki Osborne podcast.
Countdown to kick off, a little more than 6 hours to go before Game 1 hits Suncorp Stadium tonight.
Yeah, superb conditions. We've had blue skies. It was a bit hot last night. Cooled down overnight. Colder conditions for game time this evening, about an 8:05 kickoff. Mitchie, that's correct, isn't it?
It is indeed.
And weather-wise, looking at the forecast for this evening, we should be getting probably down to around about the 17-degree mark around kickoff. But again, a little bit cloudy, but no rain expected, so should be pretty ideal conditions, maybe with a bit of dew on the ball.
I mean, we were there last night, and the gust of
crazy,
strong. And I thought, imagine if things would have played out a little bit differently for the Blues, where they were going to bring Matty Burton in. You imagine one of those high kicks, and it caught the wind that we had last night. That would have been an absolute nightmare.
It absolutely would have
for those Queenslanders. So thank God he stayed in Sydney. We don't need those high balls.
Speaking of those Queenslanders, let's talk to one right now. Paddy Carrigan.
He's got flowing long hair, so hot it isn't fair. Carrigan,
applause for Paddy.
Yeah, Paddy. What are we doing?
Hey?
The biggest question is,
What's he
how's
done?
your mouth?
It's good. Morning, guys. I got the stitches out yesterday,
That
so
was fast.
That's
a
quick,
fair
eh?
few dissolved, but yeah, a couple to go. So I just had to get through training this week and managed to do that. So yeah,
I think from
Yeah,
memory,
we'll go.
lips sink ships, as we know, but they also heal very quickly. The soft,
Is that because there's, you know,
soft, I
you're
think. Is that right, Pat?
yeah. Well, the doc told me that all the blood supply or something to do with that, like makes them heal really quickly. So it's it's pretty good. He was a bit nervous if I get a knock on it, what might happen, but well, touch base. If it happens in the game, it happens in the game.
It's something you kind of got to think about though as well, because you know it'd be a disruption if you were to cop it and it starts bleeding and that. So you're going to be, and you got to go off and get that attended to with the blood bin rule and all the rest of it. So you're going to be taking any precautions, or will there
Some
be any type of
Madison mask or
any
something?
type of gimp
Nah.
strapping or anything?
Nah, yeah, gib strapping. I got asked at media the other day. It was like, you're going to wear a mouth device to protect it? And I'm like, what do you expect me to do? I'm a footy player. Like, are we sweet here?
Yeah.
But the doc said apparently adrenaline, like an injection with adrenaline stops the blood flow. So if it's going bad, I think you can get like that sort of stuff.
Really? I had pethidine for that once. I had a bleed out once, and they gave me pethidine. That slows it down as well.
Yeah,
Right.
that.
I don't even know what that is.
This is
No,
like-
that's heavy duty stuff. You don't. We
No,
need you at full.
don't get involved in
full
that,
focus.
buddy.
Yeah, no, don't
not the-
have that.
Is
because
is everyone
you'll stop running.
It's not the steroid games like Magnuson.
Yeah. Oh no, the pethidine's like a downer. Like that's like.
Oh, we don't
Oh
want
yeah,
that.
No.
he'll have a nap. He can't.
Yeah,
No,
I
he can't do
I
that.
don't want
Yeah,
him
no,
napping.
no.
He doesn't.
You'll
doesn't
see
He needs
things
adrenaline.
dancing above you. It'll be
Adrenaline.
wonderful.
Is everyone else fully fit? I know there was a bit of a concern over the hammer, but they were saying yesterday that he's right to go. But is everybody fighting fit?
Yeah, all the boys are good. So, Hammer just had it's always an origin storyline. He had a knee clash in front of the Falcons boys on Sunday, and it was blown out of proportion a bit. But Hammer's ready to go, and we need him at top speed anyway. So, they're all sweet.
Anyone who's needed toe ball knows what that would feel like.
Yeah,
Did he-
literally.
did he do it in a
toe
post-
ball, arguably worse.
Was it an opposed session, or was he just playing that bottles drinking game with Elfie?
Alf's World. Now, surprisingly, we got out of Alf's World scot-free. So
Nice.
that was sweet. But it was just in the opposed ends. We've had the Falcon the last couple of days, so those boys have been
Yeah, they're
great
good.
for us getting us ready.
Hey, does Elfie run the water?
Yeah, he still does. Not during the week. You don't
No,
see
but
him.
on the
I
game.
think he's
Game night.
hungover still during the week. But yeah, game night, he's in his mighty blue shirt. So
That's great.
That just
Yeah.
gives me a sense of security.
It does,
like
doesn't
when
it? Yeah.
when Alfie is out there, it's just like I don't know. There's just something nostalgic about it that I just love. I feel like we're just in good hands, and that like
Yeah, yeah.
Alfie gets it. And I reckon that as a player too, Paddy, you guys would have to love it, because I know how much you appreciate the history of the game and everything, and to have someone
Imagine
who is
the
as
halves.
legendary and has been as great for Queensland as Alfie, he's got to be a welcome addition to have out there.
yeah, I love having him out there for the motivational aspect, but for the injury aspect, not at all, because Alfie's actually petrified of blood. I don't know if anyone
that's
knows, but he nearly faints. So, he's seen a video of me and he was crooked from that lip, and I've been staring him all week going, Alf, if it goes, mate, I'm coming straight to you. Like, what are you going to do? And he reckons he's just going to run off and pretend he didn't see me. So, but yeah, and Alf's it makes him crook, like he proper nearly passes out. So, I don't know how he's
He's
going to
got
go.
a lot of those weird things. He used to spew before games as well, like in the dressing room.
They reckon every game too.
Every
Butsy,
game.
like it was a.
Really?
Well, he did used to eat a 4 and 20 pie and a packet of chips and a can of Coke, so that could have been the reason
so
for
nothing
that
to do
too,
with
but-
nerves, just E numbers and
He's just
preservatives
eating crap
make him
food.
puke.
Can you imagine if, like, in the heat of Origin battle, someone gets like split, like heavily wounded,
Which will
there's,
happen
there's blood,
probably.
yeah. But then the trainer faints on the field.
Oh, wouldn't it be fitting if it was Alfie who fainted too?
Oh yeah,
We had to stretch her off the king, off the field.
The game stops.
Oh my god! And what about this Robert Toyer? I can't wait to watch him go around tomorrow night. I mean, everybody who plays Origin, has got a debut.
Just the nudgy boy.
At some stage. Yeah, he's played 10 games of NRL, Lutzy. I mean, that's
crazy.
You know, it's a huge achievement. And from all reports, he's just a great, humble kid. He seems really proud to be in there. What have you made of his week?
Nah, he's good. I actually, we actually get along pretty well. Bobby's he's quiet. It's pretty funny, but he's all his preparation stuff's been unreal. So you can tell he comes from a good system, and Bill put a lot of faith in him, and as have we. So man, he's just smiling. It's pretty sick to see. He just doesn't look out of place. He's just happy to go. So I know he'll be ready tomorrow night.
You should have G'd him up before as the camp started. Just said, Paddy's not going to talk to you because you went to Nudgy and you went to Terrace.
Well, I actually mucked around and cleared the air with him early, but I don't think he.
Did you say we sweet?
I think he was kind of thinking what's going on here? I was like, sorry, mate, I left all that high school stuff behind 10 years ago this week.
You went, we cool?
That
would actually be hilarious.
Paddy takes that stuff really seriously, so you just
don't wear blue or white anywhere around him.
Crystal ball stuff. If your wishes come true, like what's going to be the best part of Queensland's performance to secure the win? What do we need to do?
The best part of it, just play Queensland footy. Tough it out, get it done. Game ones are always like that, and I think we owe our fans one from last year, to be honest, mate. So it's going to come down to the wire, but hopefully we win the battle in the middle, then we'll win the game. So yeah, it'll be good fun.
All the best to you and to the team. One up. Let's go and do it, mate.
We'll be watching.
Done, guys.
The Ash Lutzy and Nikki Osborne podcast.
Countdown to Origin Game 1 at Suncorp Stadium tonight. The hour of power with Ash Lutzy and myself.
Okay, well, what are we? Not too far away from 2 o'clock now, so countdown on. About 6 hours till kickoff. Alan Langer, the great Alan Langer, has been in Maroon's camp at Twin Waters and now back in Brisbane. Great to have you on, Alan, and the countdown to kickoff tonight. The final countdown for the players in camp as well.
Yes, it's been a very exciting week, mate, and the weather's turned it on for us. It's been an amazing week up the coast, and the boys have really prepared well. So looking forward to tonight. I think it's important to go out and win that first game, especially in any Origin series, win that first game and get the upper hand.
What has the week been like? Obviously, everything is done now, and we're just waiting for the time to come for kick-off, but is Billy and yourself satisfied with the preparation?
I'm sure Billy's, he's left no stone unturned. Again, he's very particular what he does. So, it's been a great week. And the guys have, as I said earlier, prepared really well, had a great week together. But as I said, it all comes down to that 80 minutes tonight.
Your contribution, you're very much the bookend.
So good to have you back.
Yeah,
so good.
The bookends of the camp. Alfie comes in early, has a real impact on night one.
Yeah.
Then just sort of takes it easy.
Lays low.
A lot of kayaking on the creek there at Twin Waters.
The entertainment manager, you left that out.
Just saying. But then bang, back you come because you'll be back in the. I think it's a blue shirt they make you wear, the light blue shirt for the running the water tonight.
No, yellow.
Oh, it's yellow. Is it?
Yellow.
That's good. Oh, yeah, of course it's yellow. But how are you feeling around all that? I saw you guys at the captain's run. You were getting a stern talking to by the NRL officials, making sure you're all doing your job, and you were really listening hard to that, I noticed.
I was, very concerned. But as I said, I'm just getting ready for my fitness test. Billy's just about to take me to South Bank to run through the sand over there to see if I can right for the night.
A bit like Farlap.
So is that what Billy does on game day?
Runs him through
takes
sand
his
hills.
trainer out for a fitness test to see if he's okay.
Beep test in the sand.
Borat outfit if you're over South Bank, I'll be in the Borat.
Check that out if you're over there over the next couple of hours. What a sight that will see.
Is
Is that Alan Langer on Origin Day in a Borat outfit? Why has Billy Slater got a stopwatch? That's absurd. Oh, that's exciting. As Ash said, great to have you back.
It is.
Have you felt it?
So good.
Do you feel a difference, Elfie? And obviously, it's a player when you were part of the team management, but just in recent years, is it still at essence the Origin camp the same kind of feeling for you?
Yeah, definitely, mate. They're the three best weeks, or three best games, and three best weeks of the year. And to go in a camp with these guys, they show you treat you with great respect, and certainly it's just enjoyable to see even the young debutants come through and how excited they are, and what the senior players, how they bring them into the squad and welcome them in. It's just a great week, and it's a great team and great family environment.
Alfie, speaking of debutants, Toya, 20 years of age, making his debut tonight. We spoke to Lockie earlier in the show. Let's go to your debut. I remember it vividly. 1987. You were kind of plucked from nowhere as well. You were playing for Ipswich at the time.
I didn't mighty Ipswich Jets.
Yeah, under the late great Tommy Radonicus, and a couple of things that I remember from that. First of all, were you only like 67 kilo when you made your Origin debut?
68.
68 kilo.
Hot chips. I had some hot chips before the game.
Well, you would have spewed them straight back up again.
Don't worry.
Like that's unbelievable, isn't it? Like 68 kilo. And is it also true that the day after your first Origin game that you were back on the shovel with the Ipswich City Council the next day?
Back in the mighty Ipswich City Council, yes. I didn't want to let the gang down in the Curve and Channel gang, so I was back on the shovel the next day.
Imagine that, Lutsy, like Robert Toyer, if that was him tomorrow.
Yeah, I've got to go, guys.
Yeah,
I'm back.
8 o'clock tomorrow morning, he's on the shovel out at Ipswich for the council.
I'm back shoveling roads in Bondi.
Unbelievable how times have changed, isn't it? All right, mate. So, what do we need to do tonight, Alfie? What are the what are the key areas that we need to get right if we're going to chalk up a first up win?
Well, I just think our forwards have just got to match their big forward pack. They're going to be big and aggressive. So, and with Tino back in the squad, I think that's he's our leader in the pack. So, if we can match their forwards, well, I'd love to see Cameron Munster break loose in that second half.
Yeah, well, that's what point Slater made yesterday. Saying he's very attack orientated as a footballer, obviously, but without that defensive hardness, you can't activate those attackers. So it's almost like a very levelled approach in attack and defence that the guys are taking.
Yeah, and Origin games. And if you go back to that last game last year, how tough that game was, and it went for 80 minutes. So there always got to be a breaking point, and it was just a bounce ball, and New South Wales got that lucky break and got the try, and that was the game. But, we just got to go with the forward pack early and see if the game opens up, and when it does, we need Cherry Evans and Cameron Munster to be at their best.
Yeah, nice work.
Yeah, I can't wait, mate.
Yeah, mate, pass on the best to the entire squad when you see them from all the family here at Nova, mate, and it's great to have you involved and out there, and we look forward to seeing you out in the paddock again tonight, Alfie, but best of luck.
Thanks, guys. Looking forward to it. Go the Maroons.
Thanks, Alfie.
The Ash, Lutzi and Nikki Osborne podcast.
Countdown to kick off here on Nova 106.9 State of Origin. Game number 1, a little over 6 hours away.
Yeah, if you need a bit of a last-minute injection of Origin, which we all will a bit later on this afternoon, don't forget our exclusive podcast will drop at 6 p.m. this evening, which will have all the latest, obviously, in the countdown to kick off at 8 o'clock tonight, where you obviously get all your Ash, Lutzi and Nikki Osborne podcast gear.
I know that we're all tipping Queensland because we're
from here and we love it.
Just the way that we are. But who do you reckon is going to be like our best tonight? Who do you like? I think that Tino is just primed.
Yeah, I agree.
For such a huge game tonight. So much, like he is such a big, strong, powerful leader, and we really missed him last year. I don't think you can underestimate just what he brings in terms of just some gravitas to our
How old is he
pack.
now? How old is he? I mean, because I know you're saying leader, and I know he's had that position, and I just feel like the last 12 months, particularly in Clubland, he's stepped right up, and I think he's a different player than we even know him from previously in State of Origin. And I agree with you. I think if he steps up tonight, we're going to see something pretty special from Tino, hopefully.
I think he's just one of those players too, and Paddy would testify to that when we talk to him, that when you look around the shed, that if you're walking out behind Tino, you're just like, geez, I'm glad he's on our side.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
you'd feel safe having Tino around.
I think Munster's another player that gives particularly those debutants a real sort of just a relaxed sort of feel in the sheds leading up. He was probably joking around the sheds, take that edge off a little bit, which I imagine if you're a player like Robert Toyer, that would certainly help him on debut. And I'm expecting again Munster to step back into Origin and really hopefully dominate tonight.
Well, he's done it so many times before. He's just that type of guy, isn't he? Like he is a huge game player.
Yeah,
Munster.
I'm expecting a big one from Xavier Coates. I think he's going to do something special, which and mark this down, folks. He's going to do something special tonight, I think, which could be a game changer.
I mean, we see it week in, week out. Munster, putting those kicks into the corner for Xavier.
Yeah, for Coates.
And he just keeps getting bigger and better. Like that one, was it the weekend just gone or last weekend? One of the great marks. Like even the AFL footy shows were talking about it.
They were showing it. Yeah, I mean, imagine that.
Yeah, we need this guy in our game.
Yep.
It was incredible. So I'm just looking. He's 25, Tino. So
yes, I mean,
still only a pup.
He could still.
That's what I'm saying.
He could be there for another 10 years.
Yeah, and it's just crazy to believe like both of those players, Munster and Tino, weren't there last. I'm not saying two players aren't going to make all the difference, but you think about the way that we won game 1, got smashed in game 2, but over in Perth, was it? We don't tend to go.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't Perth. It was Melbourne last year.
Melbourne,
and then come back, and that was one of the great games, game 3. But geez, I would have loved to have had Tino out there just sort of adding to that forward pack. Munster with his unpredictability, because that was what won it for them in the end. Was Luai just doing something freakishly unplanned, and that could have been money. So to have both of those guys back in. I don't know. It's just something special about seeing them all together wearing that, and I know we had Alfie on before. Seeing him yesterday just walking around with a water bottle and a footy under his arm on the field. We've missed that at the Broncos this year. Yeah. Just something that just felt right about it. There was just a really good feeling at Suncorp yesterday. And tonight, just absolutely packed, sold-out game. It has been for months. I don't know. I feel really good about it. And I don't usually like game 1. I hate game 1 because you don't know what to think. And I don't get excited about Origin until about 7:35, 25 minutes before kickoff. But I don't know. There's just something different about it this year. Maybe it being a series opener. We haven't had it in Brisbane for so long. There's just a real buzz about the place. Yeah,
and we've got a good record in game 1s. We've won the last 3. Mm-hmm. We've won 7 of the last 12. I had a look at that this morning.
Okay.
At some stat. And just on Tino, DCE becomes the oldest Queensland Origin player in history tonight,
really,
which is a massive achievement. But it could be his final year. Is Tino the next captain?
I mean,
wow,
he certainly put himself in the frame.
I mean, if you're looking for
25,
if you're looking for a long-term captain, which I like, if they just sort of put someone in there, like I like the idea of Paddy becoming the next Broncos captain, but like Tino is already a club captain, so I mean. You wouldn't be against it next series.
Well, enjoy wherever you're watching tonight. Fly the Maroons colours high wherever you are, and go the Mighty Maroons. And hopefully tomorrow morning, don't forget, from 6 o'clock on Nova, we'll have the full review from the sheds from hopefully a Maroons victory in Game 1 of State of Origin.
Go the Maroons! The Ash Lutzi and Nikki Osborne podcast.